Okay, so the last time that we talked about this, Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Peter Parker's Spider-Man in the Marvel Spider-Man franchise, decided to comment on the fact that, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he's not going to be benched for Spider-Man 3. And it's weird, there's been a bunch of chatter about Marvel Spider-Man 3, but we haven't gotten like the official announcement, we haven't gotten the official confirmation. We know that Insomniac is making it. I think that much is obvious. But it's weird how much we have heard about this game before like an official confirmation, before Insomniac was like, hey, here's Marvel Spider-Man 3, here's the logo, here's the main villain, what they did with Spider-Man 2 in 2021. We have not gotten that same treatment for Spider-Man 3 yet. But now we got even more details about Marvel Spider-Man 3, this time not from Yuri Lowenthal, but in fact from the voice of Miles Morales, Najee Jeter. This comes exclusively from the Direct. They got a headline here that reads, Spider-Man 3 PS5 star teases Silk and Miles Morales' roles in the new game. That is an interesting headline there. Big shout out to the Direct in general, by the way, that's been feeding a ton of exclusive information for all these upcoming Marvel games. So the article here reads as follows. You guys should be hitting the thumbs up button on this video. I'm sorry, no. The article reads here, Marvel Spider-Man star Najee Jeter teased Miles Morales' role in the Spider-Man 3 game and how the newly introduced Silk character could fit into the Insomniac Games web-slinging video game universe. While not yet formally announced, several reports indicated that Insomniac, also working on the Wolverine PlayStation 5 game, is already developing a proper third entry into the Marvel Spider-Man video game franchise. And then to continue with the article, they also say here that in an exclusive interview with the Direct at Fan Expo Vancouver 2025, Miles Morales voice actor Najee Jeter was asked where he wants to see Spider-Man 3 go. He apparently answered, I want to fight the Green Goblin. Now, okay, we all assumed Green Goblin was going to be the villain of Marvel Spider-Man 3, and I'll be honest, I don't think this here is Najee Jeter confirming that fact. I think that he's just assuming what we're all assuming, that after the setup of the post-credit scene, Norman Osborn's going to be teaming up with Doc Ock in some way. He's preparing the G serum for his son Harry Osborn. What does the G in the G serum stand for? Goblin. At this point, maybe they've even already done some voice recording or some mocap for Marvel Spider-Man 3, but again, I don't think that Najee Jeter here was spoiling anything that first we didn't already see coming, or that he wasn't just assuming himself. To continue with the article though, it reads as follows. Jeter's Miles will supposedly take a more significant role in the still unannounced Spider-Man 3 game, following the tease that Yuri Lowenthal's Peter Parker may be taking a step back at the end of Marvel Spider-Man 2. And here is a direct quote from Najee Jeter, the voice of Miles Morales himself. Miles is always going to need Peter Parker, no matter what it is. He is kind of like his Yoda, so he's always going to need his wisdom and his guidance, no matter how the world may turn. Also, good guys always need a break sometimes. You never know what will happen. The world is crazy out there, so if it needs both of our assistance, then we will show up. But if my big bro needs a breather, I will be ready to go. And I think this is a fair statement to make. I think, honestly, both of the actors, Yuri Lowenthal and Najee Jeter, are just saying what everyone is thinking, or at least what you should be thinking. If you were going crazy and freaking out and thinking Peter Parker was going to be stepping back and was going to retire entirely for all of Marvel Spider-Man 3, you're insane, okay? You're insane. So we all knew that Peter Parker wasn't going to be actually taking a step back. We knew that this was a temporary thing. And with the looming threat of Doc Ock teaming up with what we assume is going to be the Green Goblin, Peter Parker's gonna have to step back into the fray. What the ending of Marvel Spider-Man 2 is trying to communicate is that Miles can hold his own. He can handle the city and allow Peter the opportunity to take a break sometimes. Peter's been Spider-Man for the better part of I think 10 years as of when Marvel Spider-Man 2 is taking place. So he's been on the gig for a really long time without an opportunity to just step back and just sit down and relax for a little bit. And I think after all the craziness of what went down in Marvel Spider-Man 2, coupled with what had already gone down in the first game, it was a moment for Peter to say, you know what, I gotta chill. And Miles told him, I can step up. You don't gotta worry about it, man. He was already shown to be capable in his own game, and he doubled down on that in Marvel Spider-Man 2. But as per what Najee Jeter is saying here in this article from this interview, he is still the mentee to Peter Parker. Miles Morales will always need his mentor. There's always going to be a time where he needs the advice from his big bro. And there might be instances in which New York is facing too big of a threat for just one Spider-Man. And hell, in the case of Marvel Spider-Man 3, they may be facing a threat that is too big for even two Spider-Man. So that could be where Silk comes into play. Speaking of which, the article here from the Direct says, during Spider-Man 2's final moments, Silk was teased as Miles met his mother Rio's new boyfriend, Albert Moon. During this Easter egg-filled sequence, Albert arrives at the Morales family apartment ready for dinner, introducing his younger daughter, Cindy, to Rio and Miles. That, of course, being one Cindy Moon, who who in the comic books becomes Silk. The article here states that talking about the Cindy Moon tease at the end of Spider-Man 2, Jeter admitted that he was, quote, kind of surprised by her introduction and is looking forward to, quote, who Miles encounters next. And here is a full quote from Najee Jeter about Cindy Moon, about Silk, and that post-credit scene. He says, "We don't know. I am kind of surprised myself and kind of excited to see where we take that lane. And also who Miles encounters next. That is what I am really excited about. Whether it is new villains, whether there's another counterpart like how Finn was, I am super excited just to see what Miles does encounter next." I think we're all really excited about that as well. The only thing though is that I hope Insomniac is proceeding with caution. We were all able to suspend our disbelief in the fact that not only was there one radioactive spider that bit Peter Parker and gave him spider powers, but also a second one that then bit Miles Morales and gave him spider powers. Is there going to be a third radioactive spider that bites Cindy Moon and turns her into Silk? I don't know how they're going to do all that. I don't know how they're going to have Silk get her powers, become Silk, as well as all the other things that they're juggling for what seems to be the plot of Spider-Man 3. And I also think, you know, like having some of those loose threads from Spider-Man 2, like the Carnage subplot, or even the side mission teasing Chameleon is out there. Leaving those things dangling and not giving us DLC means that there is so much that they have in store for Spider-Man 3. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, unless they're going to have DLC for Spider-Man 3, unless there's going to be a Venom game that deals with the whole Carnage thing. I really don't know. Insomniac has their work cut out for them. That much is for sure. My personal opinion is that while Silk is a really cool concept and it's gonna be awesome if they do pull it off, they really should save it for her to get her own game. Maybe tease her powers towards the ending of Marvel Spider-Man 3. Don't have her full on be Silk because it could end up being a rushed idea. And then boom, we get a Marvel's Silk, just like we had Spider-Man Miles Morales. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. It's interesting to be hearing the actors, both Miles now and Peter, talking about Marvel Spider-Man 3 and their excitement for the project. Again, we really don't know in terms of timeline when we can expect a Marvel Spider-Man 3 because we still got a dude with the claws at some point. That's going to be coming, I imagine, before Spider-Man 3. That was announced alongside Spider-Man 2. So whenever Wolverine comes out, then I think we can expect that there's going to be a couple of more years until we hear anything or see anything from Marvel Spider-Man 3. But whenever we hear anything, you guys already know I got you covered right here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got those notifications on. There are rumors there's going to be a PlayStation showcase happening in May. If that does happen, we're going to be reacting to it and we're going to bring the hype, because if it's a PlayStation showcase, I don't think I need to cross my fingers. I think we can bet that there's going to be Wolverine gameplay. And if there isn't, well, then I cry, you know, eternally. But okay, with that being said, let me now kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think here about Najee Jeter's comments regarding Marvel Spider-Man 3? And also, how do you think that they're going to bring all of this together with Silk and all the other things that they have teed up for this next game? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments. I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.